Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Focus on me, not on her. Here we go. Today we have very early Christmas, by the way. We have People Presents. I don't know why People Presents is the beginning of this. Once Upon a Main Street. This is more than likely something that premiered on Freeform during the holidays in 2020. 2020, it's an hour and 28 minutes long. And yes, it's a Christmas movie. Got the hat on. And just so you're aware, every Christmas I pick out 12 things from the Disney Plus library, and I've already picked them out. Just so you know, I've already picked them out. And this was on the list, but I knocked it off for something newer. I'm focusing more on some newer things and some older things that still haven't gone through yet, somehow missed in the previous years. But yeah, I picked a collection of 12 things plus a special surprise right in the middle of it, but I'm not going to talk about that now. This got knocked off and figured, it'll show up some other time. Well, guess what? It showed up early. It is very much one of those predictable, often mocked, formulaic holiday Christmas movies. Yeah, it's usually got at least one star in it. In this case, it's Patrick Dempsey. I know him from Dallas. In this case, he's a supporting character. He is not the main character. No, the main character is always 30-something-ish, maybe late 20s, actors. They're both a man and a woman, beautiful as anything. They are, of course, very different from each other. And Christmas, despite every effort they make against each other, brings them together. You know how it's going to end every single time. There is not a mystery in any of this. So if you think that I'm going to say something that's going to spoil the ending, no. And first of all, if you were ever surprised by any of these movies, it means you've never seen any of them. And you wouldn't care about being spoiled anyway. So if you've watched a Hallmark Channel movie, a Disney, a Freeform, a Lifetime, a whatever holiday channel movie that they are mainlining right about now in December, leading up to Christmas and probably beyond, this is one of them. And yeah. This stars Vanessa Lackey, and Ryan McPartlin. Vanessa, you'll know she's from at least 3 or 4 different CSI series, I think, or NCIS. One of those procedurals. She plays the same character. She's sort of hopped between a bunch of different ones. And Ryan, I know mainly from his role in Chuck. He was Captain Awesome. He was just the big studly guy on the show. And he's continuing his studly reign in this. Except this time, he is a guy who is looking to purchase a building in this small town. They say it's Nevada, but there's an awful lot of snow. Yeah, I know it gets cold. And yes, I've been to Las Vegas when it snows. Maybe it's probably northern Nevada. Somewhere right on the border of California, maybe Utah, I don't know. It's somewhere that it snows, and yeah. So he's looking to get a building, but he's not even the main character. Of course, he's going up against her, who is, it's Amelia. He plays Vic. Ryan is Vic. This is Amelia, and Amelia is the main character in this. This is who we follow from the beginning. The very first scene we have is her and her best friend. You need the best friend has a small part in which to provide all the exposition dump to in the first scene. In every scene, if there's anything going on, you need the best friend to exposition dump onto. Hey, who am I? Where am I? Why am I? What am I doing? What do I want? And that's it. And the best friend goes, girl, and basically either supportive or is sarcastic or cynical, or it provides some kind of feedback in which to make the main character talk more about that. And that tells you how you find out why she loves Christmas. She loves Christmas. There's always somebody in these stories, usually, that loves Christmas to an unhealthy level. If that's possible, yeah. In this case, they don't make a weird obsessive thing. She's not always in Christmas sweaters eating cookies. She's not like gingerbread men or anything else and just like mainlining snow out in the backyard. No, she's not doing that. She wants to open a year-round Christmas store. That's how you do it. They're really popular, right? Because all the year-round Christmas stores that I know of haven't closed in the last year or so. Yeah. This came out in 2020, so odds are this was made in 2019 before everything just closed that had even a hair's breadth of not being a solid business model. I'm just saying. So, but the title, Once Upon a Main Street, what is that about? Well, the two of these people, Vic and Amelia, the two of them, in order to create this meet cute romance, one offends the other one offends them back. She takes his parking space. She falls over and breaks a gift, and then I don't know, whatever. They're at each other's throats for the most part, but in a cute way. And they keep running into each other. And it turns out, yes, of course, they want the same building. She wants a Christmas shop year-round, and he wants, well, we find out later, which is something that just endears her to him earlier than she expected. He wants to run a gourmet, chocolate shop, like a high-end chocolate shop. He's a great cook, baker, making food and pancakes and pies and cakes and all sorts of stuff with chocolate. He's an expert. And well, hey, what woman wouldn't want a guy who's that handsome and also bakes? Come on, with chocolate? Come on. It's just like he needed the chocolate thing, like he needed the handsome thing. He could be ugly and he's probably just baking cakes and just getting women left and right. It's just how it works, but he's a total package, but yet they hate each other. Well, of course, even when they make an attempt to plead their case to the owner, who has not decided yet who to sell the property to, because there's a bit of a bidding war between the two of them. He can outbid, but she wants to plead her case. Well, guess what? They both get the same idea, and they head to this small town where the owner lives. His name is Elder. And it's Patrick Dempsey. So Patrick Dempsey is the decider between who's going to win and who's going to lose in this romance that's totally not going to happen. And yes, he was Mr. Hunky Patrick Dempsey in Dallas way back in the day. The showers scene where oh my gosh, I came back from the dead. What's going on? He was, but now I just can't see, he's old. Yes, he looks old. He looks older, but I can't just see him as here, I'm the crotchety old grandpa who has to decide what's going on. No. Yeah, I just don't see him that way. So it's whatever. So he's got to make a decision. He's a lonely old man. He just lost his wife. So you got that part. Maybe something great will happen. Oh, and he's also estranged from his daughter. By the way, yeah, there's a lot of spoilers in this. If you were planning on watching this movie, yeah, I ruined a bunch of stuff. But again, these are just fine details that you've probably seen in 80 other of these Christmas stories. They churn them out. It's like Hershey Kisses. Boom, boom, boom. There's thousands of them going down a conveyor belt. It's just the way it is. But people watch them. I mean, I'm not going to judge. I mean, hey, you love what you love, go for it. Don't let anybody judge you. Don't let anybody say, oh, you're a horrible person for loving these things. If you love the Christmas movies and you love all the holiday stuff, go for it. Just don't have a great time. Just don't expect everybody else to fall in line, but love what you love. As long as nobody's getting hurt, you're fine. It's not my thing. I'm not going to sit down and watch Lifetime or Hallmark Channel movies because, again, C1, seen them all, and it's the same. It's the same emotional tug of war. It's the same tension that builds between them right when they're about to kiss, right when it's just that moment, and somebody stops them. Somebody steps in like, hey guys, can we do this? I gotta talk to you about this. Hey, come on out here and do this. It's Billy, by the way. The guy's name is Billy, and Billy is kiss killer. That's what he's doing. He's the kiss killer of this movie. Just saying. Billy. So, hunt him down. Billy is played by Scott Takeda. The other notable actor in this is Polly Draper, who plays Ravenna. She's one of the characters in the small town. And again, I haven't even gotten to the whole Main Street thing yet. But Ravana, whatever her name is, Rowena. Man, my eyes, I just can't see the small print. I'm getting old like Patrick Dempsey. She is played for comedy, but she's the ornery lady who runs the pottery shop in the small town in which Elder lives. And he informs him, I guess, again, what's going to keep these two together and not at each other's throats? What's going to bring them together? Well, you know what? Elder says, I used to help run this thing with my wife, where we have a competition between this town and the next town over, Springfield versus Shelbyville, I don't know. And they have a Christmas street decoration contest. By the way, just a quick aside when it comes to street decorations, you're going to notice that these Christmas things are never filmed in wintertime, in a place where winter happens. That's why a lot of these things often take place in Arizona or New Mexico or whatever, where they don't have to do a whole lot of snow. It's costly, it's inconvenient, you don't have to worry. If you shot it in wintertime, you don't know whether you're going to have snow or not, and you don't know if it's going to be too cold, all these things. So these shots were especially the very beginning where they first meet. There's a big pile of fake snow here and there. There's also big, like, I don't even know if it's tarps. Like, it's some sort of white fluffy sheeting that is literally around the scene in which they're filming their first meet. And as she drives away from it in her car, you will see that it is literally just white sheets lined up around that part of the parking lot, and there's like you can see the wood that holds it up out the window as she drives by. It's so totally fake, but you figure you're not going to see it because it's just a quick drive-by and should be blurred out, but it's pretty clear. So, yeah. And then it's just a sprinkling of snow here and there. But you notice that when they're talking and having scenes outside, walking down the street at nighttime, nobody's breath is being seen. It's warm. Let's just say it's warm. More than likely, it's 65 at least in these shots. So yeah. By the way, also this Christmas decoration competition is only happening, like, the creation and the judging of it is literally happening days before Christmas. Who does not have their freaking Christmas decorations up weeks in advance, like a week after Thanksgiving? How is a town not? This should have been taking place literally not like on Christmas Eve or the week before Christmas or whatever it was. It should have been happening like right after, like, Cyber Monday, and then this happens. That's basically what it should have happened. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just being picky. Yeah. I can't wait for People Presents Cyber Monday Romance. I don't know. Something's going to happen with that. I should write it. Yeah. There's a formula out there, so it shouldn't be too hard to do. Anyway, they of course, they volunteer in order to get the favor of Elder. They volunteer to use their considerable talents because Amelia is very much the Christmas queen, and Vic, loves making chocolate things, and between the two of them, they're totally qualified to command the people in the neighborhood downtown who run all the little shops to tell them how they should redecorate their downtown streets. And they lose every year to the neighboring town, I'm going to call it Shelbyville, because they just do the same thing every year, and it's not very creative, and they just sort of take turns being the focal point, and it's not really earned. It's just, they just do it, and they lose. And nobody knows how to really wrangle these people from getting each other's throats and just making it all about them. Well, of course, working together and looking at the history of the town and blah, 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 blah. Of course, they help Vic and Amelia. They get everybody together, working together, and they win. But of course, there's also another side story with dealing when, if you're going to mention that you're a widower with an estranged daughter, you're going to have one of two things happening, or both, in these stories. Either you're going to make up with your estranged child, oh, we haven't seen each other in forever, it's a Christmas miracle, we're back together again and we're so happy. Or your dead spouse is going to come back from the dead. Or both. And this is not the kind of Christmas magic thing where people return from the dead. So it's just like, even like in an apparition, like, oh, I miss you, oh, honey, and then like at this last moment of peace and happiness, knowing that they're in heaven or something. No, it's not one of those things. He gets to see his daughter once again. And that's great. So, but of course, there's always that struggle, not just the guy who interrupts the kiss, but also because they're in competition with each other, there's a suspicion that the person who brought dad and daughter together was gaming the system in order to gain favor with Elder and then get the property. And that pushes the lovers apart. But can they resolve that in time in order to, true love wins? We get it. That's how it works. And of course, true love wins, and they make it up, and they forgive each other, and they fall in love, and they finally get the kiss. And who gets the building, though? You know what's going to happen. You knew it the second I started this video, or the second I said that they were competing over a building. Do I have to say it? Do I? They get the building together and share it. Of course they are. Of course, because they're going to they're in love, and they're going to get married probably, I don't know, they're together. There's a year later thing, but you get to see what happens. It's going to happen. It's the way it is. Yes, Santa Claus shows up, but it's not the real Santa. He's just a guy who's showing up in the background in a sleigh while they tour this town. And by the way, the people who do this are like recording for live television, I guess, and like doing the tours of the two different towns they're competing. And they're finishing with the town we're talking about, the town that they've just remade and into being once upon a main street, and and then they announce the winner like right in the shop. Like, how horrible would it have been if they had lost? They're like, hey, we had a great time though, once upon a Main Street exhibit here. Everybody is so friendly, so nice, such beautiful shops and lights and everything else, but we got to give it to Shelbyville. Sorry, they're just better. And like, yeah, they would have been okay. I realized they only had an hour and a half. Expediency. It's going to happen. They had a half an hour of commercials and Freeform or whatever this was, selling tchotchkes to you. I realized that's how it worked, but yeah. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, sorry. The Rowena, the woman who plays the ornery craft shop person, she's a director. She's a director of the film. So I'm not. She cast herself in the role of Rowena. Okay, that's great. But again, it's got to be difficult because to make a film like this, because when it comes to a movie, these holiday movies, the reason why they make so many of them is because they they have an audience. It's a built-in audience. You're gonna watch it, even if it's repetitive, even if it's been done before, and the leads more often than not are completely predictable. They're beautifully bland, and there's nothing of any offense that happens in whatsoever in this film or any film. It's hot chocolate on a winter's day. It's cozy blanket. It's all it is, and that's great. But to be able to stand out from the crowd has got to be difficult. Like, you can't get any kind of weird humor in it. You can't get too emotionally harrowing. It's always got to work out in the end. So it's anything different is just going to be a Seth Rogen comedy or a horror film. That's just those are the other only options when it comes to films like this. And yeah, or Will Ferrell. We'll say of Will Ferrell, like Elf. Elf is a Christmas movie that is unlike pretty much any others in that era. Yeah. But okay, so you get what I'm saying here. You're not going to get anything you're not expecting. It's safe. Enjoy. This is your type of thing, there's a Christmas holiday section on Disney Plus. Just go to that. You'll find it there with all the others. But I'm going to tell you, there is something that is hidden on Disney Plus that falls within the range of Christmas movies, but is not in that holiday section. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll tell you, it's going to be the very first. I think it's going to be the very first thing I watch as part of my 12 Days of Christmas. So be on the lookout for that, whatever day that is, in like a week or so. I'll tell you. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 202. Okay, again, I had to reset the list, and it may pick a number that was already picked. I don't know. It didn't. And oh my gosh. We got a series, and it's Lego based. And hey, it's Star Wars. We only got 3 or so Lego things left. We have. This will be fun. I might watch one episode. I might watch all of them. It all depends on how long they are. Because, hey, it's Star Wars, and I kind of got to watch everything. This is Lego Star Wars All-Stars. So, yeah. It all depends on how much. There's a lot I have to get watched. So, it's Lego Star Wars All-Stars, the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.